LA Unified students returned to school today, some in the shadow of the burned-down Lineage warehouse in Boyle Heights. It comes as that company races to beat a Friday deadline to remove the rest of the rotting food, and lawmakers launch an effort to protect communities from future disasters. NBC4's Keenan Willard is in Boyle Heights for us tonight, where neighbors are reacting to that new legislation. Keenan.
Yeah, Carolyn, very strongly, as they have been really at church meetings like this one that we saw this afternoon. Emotions running very high, as they have really in the nearly 2 months since this emergency first began, whether it was parents talking about the fact that they were sending their kids back to school here in Boyle Heights, some just blocks away from that warehouse where the ongoing emergency site is. Others talking to us about these new proposals from lawmakers to address future emergency responses. Some of the people living in this community say that while these efforts are appreciated, they don't feel that they do enough for their community.
God, help these poor people who are suffering. An emotional prayer echoing through Boyle Heights, where neighbors say they still need support nearly 2 months after the Lineage warehouse caught fire.
We know that there's money in the budget when there's crisis. We know that this is a crisis. We're asking everybody in government to acknowledge that this is a crisis and to act like this is a crisis.
After the fire started on June 17th, people living near the warehouse say they dealt with 8 days of thick black smoke pouring into their homes. Since then, their main concern has been the smell of more than 85 million pounds of rotting food that was left at the site.
They can't breathe. They have rashes. They're coughing up blood. Their heads hurt.
We deserve to live in a community where we can be free of masks, and we don't have to be wearing masks every time we step out of our homes.
The mayor's office set a deadline of this Friday for Lineage to clean up the waste. The company saying as of yesterday, 7 million pounds of food still had to be removed.
As a mother, it's nerve-wracking.
Today, LAUSD students in Boyle Heights return to the classroom for the fall. Rosa Samanyego's son is among the students going back to Eastman Elementary, 6 blocks from the warehouse.
We're worried about their mental health status. What kind of sickness are they going to have in the future?
In presentations to families in recent weeks, LAUSD said the district was deep cleaning classrooms and placing air filters on campuses near the warehouse. But Samaniego says she could smell the site strongly when picking her son up from school today.
So no child should be living this or going through this.
As the cleanup effort continues, today Mayor Karen Bass and state lawmakers announced 2 new bills aimed at protecting communities from future disasters, including provisions that would block permits for new cold storage buildings unless the company set up an emergency fund for food, housing, and other community expenses, and letting the city and county fine companies up to $50,000 a day for violations after disasters.
Because if you're going to operate in a community, you have a responsibility to that community. And if something goes wrong, the community should not have to beg for the resources just to survive it.
Today, some in Boyle Heights say if passed, those bills could help other communities one day, but their neighborhood is suffering now.
People need immediate relief. They need to be able to leave their homes.
We didn't cause this, and we shouldn't have to live this way.
We will continue to follow up closely those cleanup efforts here in Boyle Heights as Lineage races towards that Friday deadline to get all of the debris out of the warehouse here. For the moment, from Boyle Heights, Keenan Willard, NBC4 News.